Wow, I'm overwhelmed. Jay, thank you so much for those kind words. I will tell you this. He's been one of my biggest supporters to my entire battle. He wrote a story about my career that had my wife and my daughters and us in tears. Because Jay's just a talented guy, and just, I can't thank you enough. Jay played on the very first team at Duke that went to the Final Four. The first 3 years, it was struggle city for Coach K. He sent me a text tonight. I went over the text. He said, knock him dead, man. Make some money for those kids. But he also said, 1986. He knew Jay was going to introduce me. Jay was on that team with Johnny Dawkins and Mark Allery. And the only, I guess, junior was Tommy Amica. But that team won 37 games. 37. Lost 3. They went to the final game and got beat in the second half by a young diaper dandy by the name of Purvis Ellison. Never nervous Purvis. But I will tell you this, Jay, where's my guy Jay sitting? Jay, stand up a minute. Jay made the greatest, I talk about on TV, he was a blender, blended in beautifully with all the players. But Jay made the greatest move in his career when he was at Duke, and he all of a sudden made a move at a pretty young cheerleader. And she handled that move really well. Wendy, will you stand, his beautiful wife, Wendy? I've just been overwhelmed tonight. Overwhelmed by the love, the messages, the prayers. Been incredible. I have one coach in this room. I'm going to single out right now because we really weren't that close. Knew him, followed me, had me speak for him 1 year down at Providence when he coached. But for like 5 months straight, I tell you straight, every day I would get a prayer. And the prayer was very personal about whatever I was doing, going to a scan, blood work, whether I was doing a Neupogen shot, and only cancer patients know that. Hated that damn shot. My doctor's in the room here tonight. Hated it. It was always 24 hours after you had chemo to get your white blood cells to go up and to elevate them. And it would just, they tell you initially for 3 days, it could attack your bones and create a lot of pain. And trust me, I wish those suckers were wrong, but they were right. The bone pain was unreal. But this guy never let up. In fact, he shocked me one day, and Jay probably remembers the game. They get beat, his team. They go to Texas, and he used to coach in Texas. So it was a big moment for him. He goes there, and he loses overtime in a real unbelievable battle. And I couldn't believe it. 1 o'clock in the morning, I look at my phone. Text message. Dick, I pray that tomorrow you do. I said, oh my God. Without any more further ado, Rick Barnes, will you please stand up, Rick Barnes, Tennessee. Rick, I will tell you right now, Rick is next year going to be the first recipient of the Dickie V Spirit Award because he has generated so much spirit. There are many moments that, as Jay said, you go up and down, and only cancer patients know that feeling. Well, you lifted my spirits, unbelievable. But many of you did. Jay Wright and the chaplain. Where's Jay? Jay, Jay. Hey, Jay. Jay has retired from college coaching and has broken our hearts because he represented the game in such a classy way. And man, my wife used to always tell me, whenever you're on TV and it comes time to interview Mr. Jay Wright, please, please don't stand next to him in a two-shot and let people see you against him. The guy, he's so damn good looking. But I know one thing. Jay said the other day, well, you can't ever rule out about coaching in the NBA. Well, I know one thing. As soon as you said that, man, the cash register is going to go ding-a-ling-ding with calls, baby. No doubt. You know, this room is filled with greatness. This room, I'm in awe of. We have great sports personalities here. People that are incredible. You want national championship coaches? We got Coach right here. Certainly Coach Drew. You got Jay Wright. You got my guy Rick Pitino. 2 national titles, Kentucky and at Louisville. And I know he wouldn't say this, but I'll say it. I know he was shocked out of his mind because his team at Iona beat St. Peter's twice. And when he saw they beat St. Peter's beat Kentucky, wow, couldn't believe it. But this room has unbelievable corporate superstars, people in the medical profession. And I mentioned medical profession. For me, unbelievable. I want them to stand now. I want my guy, Dr. Brown, please stand. He was the guy in charge. He was in charge of my chemo, and he was so great to work with, so supportive. Dr. Casera, I know he's in the house, Stan. I can't thank him enough. He helped me probably through something that no one talks about. It was probably one of the scariest things I dealt with. I was in a bile duct blockage, and I thought it was bile duct cancer. And he got me through that whole situation. And Dr. Meredith, we're lucky in this area to have him. He's one of the top 5 in the world robotic surgeons. And I like all 3 of them to stand, and you give them a hell of a hand. Tonight, for me, it's really my theme is about gratitude. My doctor for my throat, I'm about 60, 70% from where he wants me to be, and I have to do one more surgery, he said, to get me to 100%. So on June 7th, I will go under the knife for him again. But he's the best in the world at what he does. And if you don't believe me, you walk in his office, and you look against the wall. When I looked against the wall, I said, you know these people? He said, know these people? I operated on these people. Lionel Richie, Adele, Bono, Steven Tyler, James Taylor. The list goes on and on. In Boston, they've had their Yastrzemskis, they've had their Bradys, even though we're glad we stole the sucker and got him here. They've had their great ones. Larry Bird. I spoke at a function that he came to, incredible function for my guy who's in the house I love dearly, Harry Rhodes, Washington Speakers Bureau. Harry, I'm ready to start going out and making some cash, man, for the kids. So Harry, get me more gigs. But you see, I spoke from him in Boston, and he was treating me. I said, doctor, what are you doing tonight? He said, what do you mean? Why don't you come with me? I'm speaking at an event. I said, all the big stars, Robert Kraft, all the supers in Boston are going to be there. Come on. So he came with his wife, and they came to the event. And I said, you know, Boston, you had all these greats. Well, you know what? This guy said, stand up, Dr. Zeitels. I said, he is the Tom Brady, the Larry Bird of the vocal cord world. He's in the house right now. Stand up, Dr. Steven Zeitels. Tonight is about gratitude. I want to thank, certainly, the people at Moffitt. They did a scan on me, and that scan really ended up to help me big time. They gave me a disc to give to my doctors here. And after analyzing the disc, they both came up to the agreement that I didn't have about the cancer. I never thought in my life. My wife and I and my daughters, we actually stood up and we cried when I got the call from Dr. Casera. He said, I got to tell you this, Dickie V. He said, Santa Claus has come early for you. I said, what do you mean? He said, I know you're scheduled for going for bile duct cancer surgery on Tuesday. And this was a Thursday. He said, we looked at that scan that Martha took. We don't think you have bile duct cancer. We think it's lymphoma, which is curable. Wow. He said, but we have to send it to Johns Hopkins. An hour later, the people at Martha called me up, and they said the same thing. And then 3 hours later, they called me back with the results from Johns Hopkins. They said, man, you have no bile duct cancer. You got lymphoma. I never thought in my life that I would scream with joy and happy I had cancer, but it was lymphoma. I got so many people that I want to thank, and please excuse me if I don't call your names. I can't thank everyone, but I got to start with my biggest supporter. I want her to stand. You know, I see Earl Cureton here. Where are you, Earl? Earl played in the NBA for 12 years, played on a championship team with the Sixers with Dr. J and Moses. Earl, don't start feeling too good because I got to play with that team and they would have won the championship. But Earl was quite a recruit. And I was fortunate enough to recruit him to the University of Detroit. I thought he did a great job. But the greatest job I've ever done in recruiting in my life, stand up, Lorraine. Stand up. Stand up. Talk about a Hall of Famer. I get all the Hall of Fame honors. In fact, I just got another one. It's going to be 15. And George Bodenheimer, last night we went out for dinner, celebrated his little birthday, and we had a great time. And as you all know, I promised my wife 2 things coming over here. So I want no tears, and please don't mention that George was your driver in 1981. The president eventually, now he's the president emeritus at ESPN, but unbelievable. George says, tomorrow, could you mention, I love one line you always used to use about the Hall of Fame. So he told me, so I'm going to use it because, George, where are you, George? Where's my guy, George Bodenheimer? I can't see with these lights. I always tell people, I'm in 15 Hall of Fames. Isn't it amazing? I can't run. I can't jump. I can't shoot. And I got a body by Linguini. And that's what he wanted to hear. Linguini. Speaking of Linguini, man, I thought all Italians were in the construction business. I look in this room, Jimmy Pitaro, my guy, the president. Love him. Thank you so much for that honor for the ESPYs. Thank you. We got in this room, we got Pitaro, we got Balotelli, tennis, we got Godelli, broadcasting, we got Adebayo, we got Fratello. I mean, are you serious? I can't believe it. It sounds like Vitale, sounds like an Italian construction company right there, baby. But my family, I said gratitude. My daughters, Terry and Sherry, and my wife, they came to every scan I went to. See, as Kevin said so well, and what a job he does at the MC. Love him. He was the one time I was right in my career. I called up ESPN. I said, we got a guy in Sarasota. Young, I think he's got talent, man. He's got talent. By the way, you giving your agent 10%? That's bullshit. I should get that 10%. But Kevin just has done a great job for us. But I just, my family, and as he said earlier, I wanted people to understand. People say, why were you so upfront about what you were doing? Well, I'll be selfish about it. I was trying to raise money too. I wanted to raise money. I'm in the last quarter, man. I can't hide it. I'm in the fourth quarter, 4 minutes on the clock. But I'm telling you right now, Jay and all you guys, Derek sitting there as well, I'm telling you, I'm going overtime for about 10 times. We're going to tell you this. I said it once, I said it twice, and I'll say it again. I'm going to be the first broadcaster in the history of broadcasting to walk in an arena at the age of 100 and sit there and call a game and say, and I will say, that young coach, there's nobody in this damn room that'll be there when I'm doing it in terms of coaching. They'll be retired and gone, but I'm going to be there and saying, that young coach is awesome, baby. I plan on doing it. But speaking about awesome, baby, my daughter Terry, she's here tonight. She's here with her son, Ryan, my grandson. I'm a proud grandfather. Ryan is salutatorian of his class at IMG Academy. Ryan is also going to be the 10th one in our family to have a degree from the Golden Dome, because Ryan committed to go to Notre Dame after playing to be the captain of the national team for IMG Academy in lacrosse, and he's going to Golden Dome and join his sister, who's a sophomore there. So we have 8 degrees now. My granddaughter, Cindy, will be 9. He'll be 10. And then they got a couple cousins. Their cousins are twins, and they're down at Duke University, and they love it, and they called me tonight. They won their first round matchup today in the NCAA tournament. They beat Memphis, and man, they need help tomorrow. They need Lindsay Davenport, who's here. They need Mary Pierce, and they need Chris Everett, and they'll have a chance to play in Tennessee. But they love it. I love you guys so much. Your support has been unreal. My wife and I, 50 years, we celebrated with the whole family in Hawaii, and what a great time we had there. I met a guy while I was there that little did I know, how you never know who you might meet. I'm sitting there, my daughters and my grandkids, all of them, they all went scuba diving and all that stuff, and Lorraine and I decided to sit in the Four Seasons on the deck by the water and have a little Italian pizza at lunchtime. And all of a sudden, a guy walks up to me. He says, Dick, I'm a big fan. Good, how you doing? And this and that. And, he had his shorts on. I liked him. I said, why don't you join us? I had no idea who he was. He said, Al, we start talking. Finally, he gave me his name. He said, you ever in California? Look me up, man. So I said to my wife, Google his name. We Googled his name. And I was blown away by his success. All I could say is the first article I read said, bagging groceries to bagging billions. Holy jeez, that guy is bagging billions, bagging groceries. So that night we met the whole family. My 2 son-in-laws are here. Thomas Krug played quarterback at Notre Dame, and he's now a judge for he's going on his 3rd term, which will take him 18 years. You don't want to go before him, my son-in-law, Thomas. Also, my other son-in-law, and I'm his biggest supporter because he's the best at what he does, hand, shoulder, elbow surgeon, and he's got a great practice here in Sarasota, Dr. Chris Warzo. So I've been so blessed and so lucky. There's nothing like having a great family, and you find out about it when you're going through tough times. Oh my God, you find out. But also I found out as I met that gentleman, and we all became friends every night. Every night we would meet in the lobby of the Four Seasons, his family, my family, and we just hit it off every night. And to show you his heart that he had, General Ross, I couldn't believe this. He says, you're leaving Friday? And so Thursday night, I said, you leaving Friday? I said, yeah. He says, where you going? I said, I don't know, my wife's got itinerary. I think we're going to the Big Island. We're going from Maui to the Big Island. And he says, how you getting there? I said, I have no idea. Ask my wife. Imagine she got a flight. So my wife tells him, well, we're going on this Hawaiian Airlines. He says, no, you're not. And I don't take no for an answer. Tomorrow morning, I'll meet you down here in the lobby, and you're going on my Gulfstream. And oh my God. And we have continued to be friends. And unbelievable, heart of gold. can't believe the success. He came to this country with his 3 brothers. They couldn't speak English. And all 3 in their own individual ways are today super successes. His brother, Tom Gores, is the reason Earl and Luca Cars are here representing the Pistons. Tom Gores owns the Pistons, one of his brothers. That's come into this country with dreams and goals and desires and work ethic and pride and passion and being successes, but never forgot where they came from. So that little lunch that we had ended up giving us $1 million. And then another guy, I can't say enough about, oh my God, Cody Forster. Cody Forster and Advisors Excel. He put on an event, called me up. I love what you're doing for kids, man. It's incredible. He said, we're going to have an event, and our event's going to raise $1 million. And we're going to give it to you for pediatrics, because I love kids and love people helping kids. Well, Cody, I can't thank you enough. My God, brought me to tears when that happened. And then we have another guy in his house here, First Watch, the CEO. Yes, the CEO of First Watch. Unbelievable, Chris Tomaso. Chris has given an event all year. Dollars are going to make in a special promotion given to us, and it's going to be major, major dollars. And then there's my guy, Jim Ryan. Constellations. Where's Constellations? Constellations. Oh, my God. Constellations, the Corona Gold people, distributors, every year come through with major, major dollars. People I'm talking about now, it's over 500,000. But I want to make one thing clear. People that give us $100, to many of them, that's like giving $100,000 to some of them. Guy gives $1,000 to be here, it's like giving $1 million to them financially. So all your dollars mean so much to us, but without the numbers I'm talking about, they wouldn't be happening. To get the numbers I think we're going to get tonight. 7 million, forget about it. We're going above that tonight. There ain't no doubt about it. If we're not going over that 7 million, you see that lady sitting up there? And I know she's got cash. My wife Lorraine's going to write out the damn check for it to make it happen. But I don't have to worry about that because I know this room's going to deliver big time. And then there's a guy in here, talking to my boss, Jimmy Pitaro. Jimmy said, how'd you get to know this guy, Matt? I said, well, I got to know him. Tom Izzo called me up one day. Tom Izzo calls me up and he says, you're not going to believe it. One of my players has struck gold. He's a brilliant, I knew he's going to be a big success when he played for me. He said, just had that great leadership skills about him and always had the smile and work ethic. He said, Dick, I want you to call him up. I've already talked to him about what you do. I said, but Tom, I don't know him. I can't call him up. Go ahead, Tom, you talk. I feel funny calling him up, man. No, you got to call him up. You know, Izzo, you don't take no for an answer. Tom would be with us tonight, but he didn't even know this. He committed to be here, but he didn't know it. He calls me back a week later. I forgot my son is graduating Michigan State Friday. I said, you better get there. But he said, call him up. He gives me the number. I want Matt Ishbia to stand. Where's Matt Ishbia? Where's Matt played. He played at Michigan State, the last Big Ten team to win a national title. So when I called him up, I finally get him on the phone. I knew I was going to have a guy I liked right away. We met for the very first time here tonight, and we got a kiss. He's here with Mel Tucker, the football coach. He's in the house. But man, I knew I was in great shape. He says to me, Dickie V, this isn't Dickie V. I said, it is Dickie V. He said, Dickie V, I used to dream when you come up to Michigan State and do a game, that I would get in the game and you would call me a diaper dandy. He said, but Dickie V, I never got off the damn bench in the 4 years there. I never played. I'll tell you this, he's playing now, and he's playing big league. I mean, are you kidding me? He's solid gold PTP in the business world. United Wholesale Mortgage, doing a great job. But let me tell you this, he's got a heart of gold. So I told him, he says, what do you need? I said, what do I need? I said, I don't know what to say to you. I'm trying to raise money for kids. He said, Dick, give me a number. I said, I can give you a number. I don't know what to say, man. Give you a number. He says, well, I'll give you a number to start with. If I give you $1 million, you happy? He gave me $1 million to start with. He called me up this year, and he said, I want to help you, Dick. I helped you last year. I promise I'm going to help you. So I'm going to give you $2 million, one for me and one for my brother Justin. My God, that's why I know. Never, the people I've mentioned here have never forgotten where they came from. They've never forgotten what this is all about. You saw those beautiful young kids. I could go on and on already. I talk about my all courageous team. I'll talk about two in particular, though. Melissa's in the house here, Melissa Wiggins. Melissa, will you stand? Melissa's here somewhere. She has her son, Cannon Wiggins. I talked about this at the press conference. She sent me today a text. And in the text, she says, Dickie V, please don't stop what you're doing, because her son, for example, has neuroblastoma stage 4. And he stunted his growth. He's not going to grow. He lost his hearing. He wears heavy hearing aids. Kid's 11, 10 years old, loves basketball. And just, you could feel the pain in her text message. The medicine that they're giving my son is back in years and years ago. We need new medicines. And I researched it. They're not doing, the medicines they use are utilized for adults as well. But specifically just for kids, there's very few medicines being developed. That's why if you're able and you can give, and you know that you can give, this room is filled with dads. This room is filled with grandparents. Think about a parent today, as Kevin said. Or think about this week. This week, 350 moms and dads go home and hear 4 words that no mom and dad ever wants to hear. It's life-changing. Your child has cancer. We have in a house here tonight, gave him a big kiss earlier. How I got so obsessed about this, because I went to the funeral of their child, Holly and Patrick Wright. Holly and Patrick, years ago, they used to live in my neighborhood, lost their beautiful girl. I will never forget Holly speaking here. And she talked to all the coaches that were gathered one year. And I said, you want to talk, Holly? She said, yes. And it was the year that Calipari got beat by Kansas when he coached Memphis. And the room was filled with coaches. And she told the crowd, you know, coaches, you guys, I know you break your heart when you lose a game. It's the end of the world. It should be, because that's your job. And you care. There's nothing wrong with caring. But you know what, coaches? You're going to get in that game to coach. I'm never going to get a chance to coach my little girl. And we don't realize that until it hits home. Those parents that left today, they talked about a little headache. You're Bryant Young. Bryant Young's probably as good as a defensive player ever to play at Notre Dame, ever. And now he's going to the Hall of Fame in July, the Canton Hall of Fame. Losing his child, he would tell you, a headache. I could go on and on. Their daughter, Peyton, had a little pain in the knee, screaming about a pain in the knee. That pain in the knee became a monster, and cancer tumors all over. And she ended up losing her life. And there's one story I'll tell about him that till this day just rips me apart. My wife and I, my daughter Terry, my daughter Sherry, who's by the way up in Tuscany right now in Italy, because my granddaughter, the only one still left that's a high school, she's a sophomore. She's playing in a major tennis tournament in Tuscany and then in Milan, and they're going out to Paris. So they're on the road. She hated to miss this. But we're all, the whole family. I take them years ago to the Atlantis. I mean, they're like 7 years old, 6, 8 years old. All of a sudden, the phone rings. I grab the phone, and it's Patrick. Patrick said, I got to talk to you. I got to talk to you, Dick. I'm so excited today. I'm so excited. So what are you excited about? He said, I'm at Duke's Hospital. And at Duke's Hospital, they're allowing me to take Peyton today to breakfast. They're going to roll her down from the bed into the wheelchair, and we're going to go to breakfast. Oh, my God. And I start tearing up. My wife said, what's going on? I said, I'll tell you later. I'm crying because I'm watching in front of me. My grandkids are coming down slides, going down over the sharks, over having a... He's excited that his child is going to be able to go to breakfast. That disease sucks. It sucks what it does to kids. And I want you, if you're capable, if you're not capable, I understand. Not everybody is. But if you are, reach out to your friends. I need help, man. I need help. 50 million sounds like a lot, but it's not. It's only a beginning. People always tell me, Dick, what a great job. If it's a great job, I would have never had to be in a hospital and hear a kid by the name of Tony Colton say to me, call me over to the bed. He was here. We talked about it at the press conference. Cole Ikers in the house, cancer survivor, remembers him, and all these beautiful kids here. Oh my God, Jared Rascio, Makari Tarpley, Kitty Ballesteros. I could go out all their names. Oh, beautiful kids. Beautiful kid, Joshua Fisher, Weston Herman. Oh my God. When that kid, Tony, was here a couple of years ago, he was here as our guest. And then he asked me if he could speak at my house with the post-Gala party tomorrow for those that come, the celebrities, etc., and the V Foundation, casual. He said, can I speak to them? And he says to the crowd, please, I beg you, please help Mr. V. Help him so kids don't suffer like I do. 2 months later, I get a phone call. It's like July, I guess. And they said he was rushed to the hospital. So I go to All Children's Hospital. My wife and I walk in, and he's hooked up to every tube imaginable, laying in the bed. And I'm sitting there just watching and just tearing my heart out. And then he goes like this, calls me over to the bed. I'll never forget his words. He said, please, whispered, couldn't even hear him. Please, please, Dickie V, don't stop. Beg for those dollars. Don't let kids suffer like I am. Tony lost his life. My wife and I went to the wake, went to the funeral. No kid should be going through that. Just like we went to the funeral for Patrick's little girl. That's got me sparked big time. When I walked in there for that funeral, putting their child to rest. So I ask you from the bottom of my heart, please, you heard about Weston Herman, 4 times brain cancer. His dad this week sent me an incredible text message about what it was like going on chasing his son at the hospital, screaming about getting through the chemo and doing all the stuff he had to do. And 4 times it's been back. But he's a tough kid. He right now is the leading scorer in hockey in his league. Unbelievable. I close with this, people. You know, I've been blessed. I've been lucky. I'm 82. These kids, they haven't had a fair chance. Haven't had a fair chance. Their families. I feel for them so much. And you know, basically, when I look at it, it gave me an education. And I guess the theme for me is education and gratitude. But an education because I, in a small way now, know what those kids go through, my friends. It's not just the chemo. And Dr. Brown will tell you, I always scream, do I have to do more blood work? I'm tired of those needles, man. We did 4, I think, maybe 2 weeks ago, 2 each week. We still have to do it to make sure the white blood cells are elevated. Go for scans, oh my God. And all the stuff you gotta do. And then there's always the fear, waiting for that phone call after they do the blood work. What's the call gonna be? Please don't let it be that the cancer's back. Oh my God, rips you apart. And I know what these families go through. I know one of our guests, Chris Everett, what she's going through. Incredible, she's here today. She's battling ovarian cancer, had recently chemo, and it's just tough. I want to say thank you to the honorees. Rod Gilmore is as classy a guy as we could ever meet. Oh my God, he's just class personified. Stanford grad and represents ESPN with class in every big way. Also, we have Keyshawn here. Keyshawn Johnson, I didn't know, was the first pick of the NFL draft. Not only was he the first pick, he caught 800 passes in his career. Not only that, 10,000 yards. Unbelievable. 64 touchdowns. He had swag way before they talk about it. My guy Billis got swag. Jay, you're not in his league with swag, man. This guy's got big time swag. And I'll tell you this, he backs it up. But I'm going to also, I'm making him feel like a God here. And I'm going to bring you to reality. 1995, I was in the crowd. I was sitting right behind the Southern Cal bench. My daughter was a sophomore. My son-in-law was a freshman, quarterback then. And we were there. And here comes number 5 in the nation. Yes, sir. The Trojans come to town with this All-American wideout. When he left, 38 Notre Dame, 10 Southern Cal, baby. I gotta keep him a little humble. And then there's Coach Drew. My God, I think Jay would say this, I would say it, all the coaches gathered here would say it. I said, the guy's crazy taking that job at Baylor. They got no chance. Are you kidding me? Baylor, coming off the NCAA, all the investigation, the problems, no shot, none whatsoever. Man, has he proved us wrong. He's not only shot, he along with Jay, along with Rick, they can stand tall as national champion coaches. Unbelievable. I talked to him. He's done an amazing job with that Baylor program. I mean, we got champs in this room. You want champs. My God, we got Todd Bowles here, the new football coach of the Bucks, and he's going to do a great job as long as we keep that guy number 12 behind center. In fact, Keyshawn even said to me, man, I'd love to. You look in shape here. Maybe you should go play there for him and be another whiteout. But I'll tell you one thing. Todd's going to do a great job. We got, you want tennis? We got champs here. Mary Pierce, Grand Slam winners. We got Lindsay Davenport, gold medal. She's an unbelievable champion. She just lost her dad, and the heart goes out to you. But I want to close saying, I know I went long because I have so many people. And I want to say just thank you. I'm overwhelmed by the love I've received from so many of you. But remember, the star of stars in this room are those kids. And please, let's continue to help those kids. And I told Tony when I was at his bedside, I said, Tony, I promise you, till my last breath, I'm going to beg, I'm going to plead, I'm going to be calling Matt up again. I'm going to be calling up all you guys again because we don't have enough. We need more because it could be your child, my grandchild, any of us. One day that little headache could be brain cancer. One never knows. So God bless. I thank you all from the